So, 1 year ago today, I woke up from an 11-hour open heart surgery. I went in for open heart surgery to repair an aortic aneurysm. Now, aortic aneurysm as it is an enlargement of the aorta, which is the largest artery in your body, taking blood from your heart to the rest of your body. Why is it enlargement a big thing? Well, think of it like a balloon. The larger a balloon is inflated, the weaker the walls become, and they could pop. So what happens if the aorta in your body tears or pops and you bleed out into your chest cavity, and it's called a catastrophic event? Your chances of survival are low. How did I discover this aortic aneurysm? Because I had no symptoms, my heart was healthy, and I was good. About 15 years ago, when my wife and I are dating and living in New York City, we went jogging on the East River. On a hot July summer day, I got some shortness of breath. And my wife, girlfriend at the time, has this great saying: the copay is worth someone telling you you're okay. So she worked at this prestigious hospital in New York Presbyterian, and she said I should go check this out with my doctor. So I go check it out with my doctor. She says, your heart seems fine, although I think I heard a murmur. The shortness of breath, that might have come from running on a hot, humid day in New York City, and maybe that's not a good idea to do, but I think you should check out that murmur. I think I hear a murmur. I go to the cardiologist, and he goes, no, your heart sounds fine. Everything seems great. And I think I would agree with your doctor. I think running on a hot July day might not have been the best thing to do. However, I think your aorta is a bit enlarged. I would suggest you go to a specialist. So my wife recommended that we go to New York Presbyterian to the top cardiovascular surgeon in the United States, Dr. Girardi. He investigates and he goes, yep, your aorta is about 5.1 centimeters dilated. It should be around 3 centimeters or thereabouts or less. The fix is open heart surgery. Cut your chest open, they bypass your blood to a machine, remove the piece of the aorta that's bad and replace it with a mesh that can last forever. He said, however, his threshold to recommend this type of surgery is at 5.5 centimeters. So he suggested that maybe we monitor it for a couple of years, take a look at it, see if it grows, whatever happens, and then I can make a decision. I just went for a run in July, and if I didn't have shortness of breath, I wouldn't even be here to know that this was happening. We decided to monitor it. Fast forward 10 years. We moved from New York City to California. Every single year, I would go for an MRI. They would check the size of the aorta versus what it was previously. It doesn't move a centimeter. It is exactly the same size all the time. Again, I have no symptoms, no shortness of breath. I stopped running in the hot July weather, in humid weather. I'm okay. The heart itself is fine. Then I blame COVID, even though this was happening before COVID. I gained a lot of weight. So when I went for another test one of these years, my blood pressure was really high. We would do the test here at some place here in California, in a lab in California, and then they would send the results back to New York City. And Dr. Girardi would say whether it looks great or whether I'm healthy or not. One time we sent it over, and my blood pressure was really high, and they freaked out. What would be the biggest enemy to an enlarged aorta, something that you want to keep small? Pressure. I would be more susceptible, more possibility for it to rupture and have a catastrophic event. So he said that I should get a cardiologist or a cardiovascular surgeon out here in California to monitor my situation. So we went and we found the best cardiovascular surgeon out in California, who's also one of the best in the country, Dr. Richard Sheeman of UCLA. He came back and said, yes, your aorta is enlarged. It's at 5.1. However, Dr. Girardi's threshold is 5.5 to recommend surgery. I'm more aggressive. I recommended 5. So you're past where I would have recommended anyway. But it is up to you. You don't have any symptoms. You seem quite healthy. Your heart is fine. But it could rupture at any time, or it could never rupture. He said, if I knew the day it would rupture, I would recommend the surgery the day before. It may never rupture, or could rupture today. So my wife and I thought about it, and we thought, I've been doing pretty okay, and I wanted to lose this weight. Let me see how that affects it. So I embarked upon a 2-year journey of weight loss, and I lost 55 pounds to get into some good shape. My numbers came back, my cholesterol was great, my blood pressure went down. Everything was fantastic, except one thing. The aneurysm and size of my aorta got smaller. Now you would think that's a good thing, right? No, it's not, because then that means it is diseased. Pressure is affecting it. It wasn't always that size. So we opted to do the surgery. So 1 year ago, on January 25th, 2024, I went in for surgery to get my aortic aneurysm repaired. And after 11 hours, they repaired my aortic aneurysm as well as replaced a valve that was not doing so well. 11 hours on the table, giving me this scar. It's keloiding a little bit, but it'll go down. I have another scar on my body from a bar fight where I tore my radial artery and almost bled out. That's another story I'll tell you. So anyway, we did the surgery. Dr. Shima was fantastic. And exactly 1 year ago today, I woke up. I'm in the hands of God and Dr. Richard Sheeman and the wonderful staff at UCLA Medical. I survived. I survived and went into recovery. My wife was amazing. I wouldn't have, I don't know where I would be without her. If she didn't tell me, go check it out, I would be walking around with this aortic aneurysm having no clue because, again, I had no symptoms. The recovery was so tough that the first 2 weeks I said, did I make a mistake? I had no symptoms. It was getting smaller. Maybe I would have been okay not to do the surgery. Pictures of my actual heart and aorta. And it was a time bomb. It looked bad. The walls looked weak. It was bulgy. It looked like a balloon that was misformed, that was just out of shape. Incredible difference. It was like walking with a ticking time bomb. So if I didn't go for that run, if I decided to blow off the fact that I had shortness of breath and my wife said, don't go to the doctor, or if the doctor didn't say, hey, check this out at the cardiologist, I hear a murmur, which there wasn't one. Or if the cardiologist said, I don't know, maybe that's the size, nothing to worry about. None of these things would have happened, and most likely it would have been probably the thing that killed me. But now, 1 year later, I'm back to 100%. And I'm very grateful to every single person who was involved. Dr. Girardi's office, to everybody at Dr. Richard Sheeman's office, to all the nurses in the ICU and the cardiologist, and most importantly, my family that were here to take care of me and be with me, and especially my wife. She essentially saved me. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm happy that the series of events led me to be able to make this TikTok, which I thought wasn't even going to be here. And maybe I'll get back to telling some of the stories. I think the next story I'll tell you is that bar fight. That was a little more juicy. But anyway, glad I'm here with you guys.